Mini episode.
What the world is watching.
Da-da-da-da.
Anything can happen in a mini episode.
Da-da-da-da.
For over 50 years, the world leader in sports entertainment podcasts.
Yes, because we only talk about wrestling.
Hey, you know what? They fucking said 50 years in this, and the WWF had only been around for 15, 20 at the time.
And they wouldn't be WWF until
No, they were the WWF, but before they were the WWF.
And WWF.
That doesn't count.
Yeah.
Okay, they were the WWF before. You don't get to say
just
that was
Capital
the same
Wrestling.
thing. Right.
I'm Brendan.
I'm Nathan.
And I'm Ryan.
Yep, Ryan's back this week. And we are going to talk about a wrestling event.
We are.
Called In Your House 4.
Mr. Nathan! Milos, what do you want? Shane Douglas is back. He wants to talk to you.
Oh, God.
Only be good.
Douglas, I thought we gave him his bus fare and his half a sandwich. He
wasn't
left.
as yelly anymore, so I thought everything was cool.
All right, I'll go check this out. Just give me a second.
All right.
So while he checks it out, why this particular event?
Oh,
I tricked you!
What?
Hello! It's your good friend Montrose Monkington III here, and I will be taking the place of Nathan.
Oh, goody.
Where's Nathan?
He is trapped outside. I tricked him with my clever ruse.
I'm already sitting down, so... All right, let's do this.
Yes. Okay.
Roll with the punches. Yeah.
I watched this because I am a fan of the Sport of Kings.
Yes, of professional wrestling.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Montrose, for joining us.
Oh, I'm happy to class up the joint.
We are, of course, we're talking about In Your House 4, subtitled Great White North, which, of course, was added in much later, because I didn't hear it once during the whole show.
I don't believe they did say it, did they?
It felt like more of a Halloween kind of thing.
Yes.
October of 1995. What a time to be a wrestling fan.
The best year in WWF history.
And I do need to ask because
what were they thinking?
Well, there's that too. But I mean, they start the show off with this Tony Wilson singing in Canada.
Joni Wilson, the famous Joni Wilson.
Oh, I did. They said she was a major
Winnipeg
superstar and singing sensation in Canada. I'm new to Canada in the last, maybe the last 5 years or so. I'm not familiar with her. Was she everywhere's in 1995, gentlemen?
Well, she was an up-and-comer, so she only became really famous in 1999.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Again, still before I got here.
Now she's known as something of a legend. She's kind of like Raffi.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is either.
Or Fred Penner.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yep.
With the crowd, I didn't feel
there were so many sour faces for a Canadian crowd listening to their national anthem.
It was because I feel she butchered it.
Yeah, a little bit. Not Rock and Robin level of butchering, but
no.
She was no Mean Gene Okerlund at WrestleMania.
No.
Okay.
No one could be Mean Gene at WrestleMania.
I wrote down overalls. I think someone was wearing some really nice overalls.
Yeah, I believe those were the style at the time.
Yes.
Speaking of style at the time, the person in the first match.
Well, before we get to that first match, why did the logo at the time? Why is it coming out of a block of ice?
Yes. Well, I don't know. That's just the way it was. I think it was supposed to be marble.
Yeah, it was. It's strange. It's very 90s.
But was it what the world was watching at the time?
No.
No?
Far from it in WWF in 1995.
I thought in 1995 they were getting some of the highest ratings they've ever gotten. I mean, they had Duke the Dumpster Drosy.
TL Hopper.
The Hog Farmer was there, too.
Yeah.
Yes, Henry O'Godwin. Soon to be joined by Phineas, which is what finally got him over.
Pig and Hog.
Right.
Yep. Before that, he was just Henry O, and when they became the Godwins, he was a big star. But we start off with an announcement from Gorilla Monsoon.
Oh, rest in peace, and a fellow that I can I can relate to being a primate without opposable thumbs.
How do you feel about him using the name gorilla? Do you feel like that's a slight?
No, I don't feel. A lot of people would complain that is some sort of appropriation of my being, but I don't feel that's the case because he was a large mountain of a man and was rather hairy.
Yes.
So I do feel that there may have actually been some gorilla in his lineage.
Okay. Well, we'll go to that family or ancestry.ca and we'll figure that out.
Oh, so my 23.
What?
Is it like 23andMe? Is that the name of it?
Is that what it's called now?
I don't know. I know there's several of them. There's competing ones.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, Gorilla's announcement, because yes, folks, it's that show, is that Shawn Michaels unfortunately ran into 236 Marines. I mean, it may have been more than that. I'm not sure. And
he fought valiantly, too.
He fought valiantly, but he was assaulted.
And so it wasn't just because he mouthed off to one man and his wife.
No, not of Shawn Michaels of 95.
Okay.
No, what happened was he was accosted by 342 Marines.
This number just keeps getting larger and larger with you.
I don't know what you're talking about, but anyway, there was 418 Marines that attacked him, and he will have to vacate the Intercontinental title. Meaning that Dean Douglas, not Shane, Dean Douglas, will be crowned the new Intercontinental Champion later tonight.
But just a moment. When they've vacated a title before, don't they usually have some sort of tournament to decide who's going to be the champion?
Well, let me say this. It was supposed to be Shawn Michaels facing Dean Douglas at this show.
But he was jumped by 523 Marines.
Yes, because of the attack from 617 Marines, he had to basically, I should use the term, forfeit the title.
Okay.
To Dean Douglas.
But I don't feel like that's not fair.
Because he is not able to compete, so Dean Douglas wins by default.
But that shouldn't be. Because, I mean, if you lose on a count-out or disqualification, or rather you win by the count-out or disqualification, you don't get to be the champion. So I don't feel that just because he's forfeiting the title, that Dean Douglas should get to be the champion. That's not fair.
I feel like it's more like closer to like a submission.
Okay, and now do you feel that this is just some kind of garbage that they may have come up with on the fly because Shawn Michaels was a pilled up dickweed?
No, definitely not.
No, so it was because he was attacked by 733 Marines.
That was totally legit. All 999 of them.
Exactly. Those thousands of Marines did a number on him.
Yes, you can tell because later on in the evening when we see him, he's got Irish sunglasses.
That's right. That's right.
This is not the first time he had a vacated title. Like, he did that with his previous IC title run. I think technically the tag titles, if you want to consider that Phantom title change.
But I think the Intercontinental title one, he was actually suspended.
For some substance thing that he denied.
And I think the tag title one was because of an angle with Diesel where they broke up.
No, I'm talking about the one with the Rockers and the Howard Foundation.
Oh, and how they just ignored that the title change happened? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the ropes fell off or something?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, never fear, Montrose.
Okay.
Because after that, Dean will be forced to defend that title that he just won against Razor Ramon.
And how did they come to that decision?
I mean, he's the number one contender.
Even though he has a match already on this card.
Yes.
They couldn't give that spot to some other deserving fellow.
Well, I'm sure it has nothing to do with Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels being a part of the clique.
Oh.
I'm sure that's got nothing to do with it. Right?
No
I will defer to you.
No shenanigans.
No shenanigans. But let's start off, because we start the show with our opening contest, Making a Difference, Fatu.
The greatest gimmick he ever had.
With tights designed by Nancy Reagan, because they say just say no.
Did you? I found it kind of interesting that he actually had a BSK hat on.
What is that?
Yeah,
the Bowden Street Crew.
Oh.
I believe that means he's friends with the Undertaker. Played a lot of cribbage at the back of buses and whatnot.
As Takers tends to do.
Well, that was like another version of the Click, except they didn't swing their dicks around.
But they weren't, absolute trash people.
Yeah, so it was, I think Yokozuna was in that too.
I feel that the Undertaker liked Samoans. Because apparently Fatu was there, if you're saying that Yokozuna was there, the Samoan, and also Kama Mustafa, I believe, was also a big member of the BSK, as it were.
I didn't even notice that on his hat. Good catch, Montrose.
Oh, thank you.
But he is wrestling
some guy who's never going to make it.
Yeah, never going to make it in this business. You may have heard of him. His name is Hunter Hearst Helmsley. And I gotta say, guys, if he needs a cane to walk down to the ring, he probably shouldn't get in the ring.
Oh, yeah. He's medically cleared to wrestle, but just Shawn Michaels was attacked by 1,100 Marines. He can't wrestle.
Yeah, well, if Hunter Hearst Helmsley had been attacked by 1,262 Marines, he may have not been able to have this match with Fatu, and Fatu would have won by forfeit.
There's no championship on the line, so I mean that's a thing that would be it. Yes.
Yeah, he would just win the match. Yeah.
Right. Bragging rights.
But thankfully, that is not the case because Triple H, as we know him now, has been using kind of Rick Martel's gimmick at the time.
Yes, he's a perfume atomizer with him.
Yeah, which I don't know why he has perfume.
I believe it was to shoo away the stench emitted by Fatu, because Jerry Lawler makes a joke about Fatu using Raid as underarm deodorant 3 bloody times.
Did you get it?
Lawler has his joke book at ringside with him.
Sometimes it's like Bobby Heaton wrote.
He was absolutely on fire this evening.
Yeah. So they get in the ring and they start having, oh Jesus, what the hell? There's a fucking vampire in the crowd.
Well, there was a vampire in the crowd, and also someone held up a sign with profanity upon it.
Classy Winnipeg.
What did it say?
Well, no, it wasn't on the side of the vampire. It was on the other side, where the camera was at, and someone held up a sign. It said, "Hey, ya F-word." I'm not going to say that. I'm not. It's beneath me. Hello, Todd, I think was the name.
The swear F-word or the slur?
No, it's the F-word. It's the only word that's the F-word.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you meant the...
No, I wasn't saying he was a homosexual.
A cigarette or something?
No. What?
It wasn't... No, it was not saying that he was a homosexual.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
I gotta say, this match is not that bad.
No,
it's not that good either.
I found it a little bit slow at first, but when they were picking up the steam, it was turning into a really good opener.
Fatu does his great 360 sell from the clothesline, which I always love.
Though I will say this about it. There's punishment dealt to the head of Fatu during this match, and he no sells it because he's
that's all Samoans,
right? He's Samoan, but then he's defeated with a pedigree.
Yeah, I got you there. I thought about that too.
And then they tried to explain it away, saying that it was to the face. Last time I had checked,
they're adjacent to each
the
other. The
face was part of your head.
Well, let's just take a look at our science textbooks here, folks.
Wrestling science textbooks.
Let's just open it up here. Oh, no, okay, so here's the problem, Montrose. I just found it out. It says anytime Triple H hits the pedigree on anyone, it doesn't matter, it's always a 3 count.
Except for that period after the curtain call for a couple months.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I guess it's just, it's law. But, yeah, it violates Samoan law, but, you know. What can you say? The guy's running the company.
Connecticut wrestling law supersedes Samoan law, is what you're saying.
Yeah, unfortunately. Okay. It's politics.
Right. I will say this. During this match, I did happen to notice there's absolutely no way in the world that Fatu would be able to deny his sons.
What?
He looks a lot like Jimmy and Jay.
The Usos?
Little
big and different Usos.
Also, we should note that the vampire that's sitting in the crowd gets moved to the second row later.
You're too distracting.
No, not because he was distracting. He was sitting in someone's seat.
Really?
Oh.
Right.
That's why security came over and had words with everyone.
Okay.
See, I thought they thought he was distracting, which confused me later because they literally did a close-up of him.
Yeah, because you think, oh, it's a Halloween thing.
No,
Yeah.
because they talked to him and another, actually that Razdauer chap shows up and he sits in the front row.
So
Give him a beer.
after Hunter Helmsley picks up his big victory, Henry Godwinn comes out with a slop bucket, but because it's 1995 and that's a storyline, but Helmsley manages to escape, and Henry Godwinn just runs to the back. Thanks for wasting our time, Henry Godwinn.
Yeah, and another thing that was, did you notice that the entranceway was quite odd?
They're like short or
Yeah, it was around the corner.
yeah,
It wasn't straight down to the ring, which was I'm used to.
it was a little bit peculiar. Then we get the British Bulldog cutting a mean promo, and by mean promo I mean that he cuts a shitty promo and looks mean while he does it.
There are Zubas in the background.
Yep.
Notice that.
As the style was the time.
I was just like, Bulldog, just please let Jim Cornette do the talking.
Yeah, his greatest promo is him just proclaiming that he's bizarre for Royal Rumble.
I also noticed that when he called Winnipeg a minus 50 degree hellhole, he was actually he was talking about that. I mean, didn't he spend a good portion of his time in Alberta, which gets very similar weather,
If not colder.
right?
But he's a heel.
Well,
He's a bad guy.
This is true, and he says in your house, but the way he says it with his accent from Manchester, it does sound like he says in your arse.
Or in your hoose.
Which I was just appalled by at first. I mean, I thought, is he going to have, anal sex with him in the ring?
He fell in his fucking house.
I don't feel that should be a thing that's happening, especially in 1995 WWF.
Yeah, I feel like that would have been a bigger headline.
Yes, that definitely would have made some dirt sheets, if you will.
What? Ew! Ew! Oh no! Worst name for that right now.
Yeah, well, moving on, though. We got our next matchup coming up.
Yes, we have some internal problems between Razor Ramon and the 1-2-3 Kid, who you all might know as X-Pac.
Or, that guy who sucks terribly.
Only character-wise. I always thought he was good in the ring, just he had terrible characters. Anytime he would go, wah! Instant go away.
I especially thought he had a good run of matches as the Kid.
Yeah. This is probably his prime.
One where he fell flat on his face and hit the concrete.
Oh, for sure. I mean, but he also had, I remember a match he had with Bret Hart on a Raw one time. That was great.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the chap can't wrestle, but as soon as they give him a microphone, I loathe him with every fiber of my being.
But we eventually did have to deal with the X Factor.
I know you hate X Factor, but I know about that.
Uncle Cracker.
Him in Just Incredible.
And Albert.
Yeah.
Okay.
A murderer's row right there.
And they came out, and then they had pink coloring. It was an
Uncle Cracker and everything.
Right.
They were like, we want to pair X-Pac with the two least over people on the roster.
Get me, Albert, and Just Incredible right now.
But I mean, so Razor Ramon and 1-2-3 Kid are trying to patch things up between them. They're gonna be fine. Just like every wrestling angle where people have problems and then make up, it always works out.
I thought it was interesting that during his promo, Scott Hall or Razor Ramon called Vince McMahon with a G.
He was funnier with that when he was a heel. It was like Hitman.
Yeah, and then so we get these two taking on the Smoking Guns, Billy and Bart, for the tag team titles.
Wow, Billy looked so young back then.
Billy and Bart. Well, I will say Billy I thought was pretty good at the time. Bart messes up a snapmare in this match. It's like a hair pull takedown or something.
That's not how you're going to win Brawl for All like that.
Yeah. I didn't really like this match.
No?
Not really.
I thought Razor and Kid had some good chemistry.
They had some good chemistry, and I do feel that some of the spots actually looked... The low bridge looked especially devastating. They throw, I think it's, I don't know if it's Billy or Bob, one of the smoking guns gets, as they say at the time, set for the ride.
Yeah.
And the 1, 2, 3 kid pulls the rope down and he tumbles over with such ferocity that I legitimately thought that he might have been hurt at first.
Well, I will say that anytime the kid and Billy are in the ring, I thought they were great together.
Yeah, those King of the Ring 99 finals, you know?
Yeah, for some reason, works much better here. But whenever Bart or Razor, not anything against Razor, because I feel like he was just trying to save his energy for later.
He had another match coming up later that evening.
Oh, I get it, but I'm just saying, like, anytime he or Bart were in the ring, I just found the match kind of slowed down.
Okay.
And it just, I don't know, I felt like it was kind of disappointing for what it could have been.
Yeah, well, I mean, you do make a point there. Like, it's not a situation where some good spots does a good match make.
Yeah, and it's got a really anticlimactic finish.
This is true.
I feel like it was like leading up for a new development for a particular kid.
And I also felt that they took a little too long on that finish to get to that anticlimactic finish, because Razor gets everything all summed up. Mm-hmm. It's all set to go, and the 1, 2, 3 kid wants to get the pin.
Mm.
And he's begging to be tagged in, and Razor reluctantly tags him in. Of course, we get a schoolboy or a roll-up, and 1, 2, 3 kid, it's over.
Mm.
But I felt that getting the kid in the ring, I know they have to do that, because they're like, we have to give him some time to recover so it looks realistic, that they screw up the finish and all that sort of thing. But still, it's one of those things where it's like, I really wish they could have clipped along a bit better there, because even if Razor had just taken a second to be like, okay, I'll tag you in, just the time to go tag him in and then getting in would have been sufficient.
Honestly, they could have just had Razor take the fall, considering he was going to win another title later on.
No, because they need to sow the discord between
because
Kid
like
and Razor Ramon.
But so the smoking guns retain. The kid goes apeshit after the. Oh, sorry, I don't mean to use that term. Am I allowed to use that term?
It's a colloquialism. I'm used to it.
All right, the he goes bananas.
Oh my goodness, really? I mean, honestly,
gave him a pass.
Honestly,
sorry,
I gave you a pass on the first one.
I'm sorry.
You used something just as offensive.
Okay, listen. The kid is monkeying around.
You son of a bitch!
All right, can I do apeshit?
Yes, go back to doing that.
Okay, the kid goes apeshit, and he's just losing his mind. He's going bananas, and he just starts kicking, starts attacking the Guns after the match. Razor makes him leave the ring, gives the Guns their titles back. All is copacetic until like the next night on Raw, I think. So, call the WWF Superstar line, folks.
Talk to winners and losers.
Yeah, they used to apparently give Mean Gene Okerlund a hard time when he did this sort of thing for WCW.
Mm.
Promoting the superstar or the hotline or whatever. So much so they made a point to make fun of it when they had the billionaire Ted's wrestling.
Oh, the Nacho Man.
Yes.
And the Huckster.
Right, and they are doing the exact thing that they gave Mean Gene a hard time with.
But Mean Gene's hotline was like rumors and blah blah blah, whereas the WWF line is like, it's like Bart chat, talk to the winners and losers, and just literally talk to Bart.
Okay.
Yeah, I think because WCW's was like a dirt sheet.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Like an even lower res Dave Meltzer.
Yeah. Which I mean, if you're gonna get your dirt sheet rumors, you definitely want to get it from the company that it's about.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they have no
WCW
vested
so
interest
truthful.
whatsoever.
Yeah. Also, we get a little Doc Hendricks, aka Michael Hayes, appearance. And guys, what is he selling here?
Those standbys?
These cardboard standees, as they're called.
Yeah. Did anybody ever buy these?
I've known a few people who have owned, not necessarily those two, but the standees, yes.
Really?
In England, actually, Peter O'Toole ones were very popular back in the day.
Oh, yes. Yes, the Peter O'Toole standees.
And
I have it in my room as we speak.
They sold those using the same premise that this Dr. Hendricks used to sell the Bret Hart one, where they said, buy this so Peter O'Toole can watch you sleep.
That was terrifying.
Yeah. Get the Hitman so we can watch you sleep.
Yeah, I had Shawn Michaels for the ladies.
Ladies.
I gotta say, though, Montrose, you say he's a doctor, but I don't think he had a PhD.
Well, maybe it was some sort of honorary thing.
Perhaps he had his doctorate in alcohol or something.
Or racism.
Yeah, the Jack Daniels.
Racism, yes. Just ask Mark Henry.
There you go.
Oh, but guess what, folks? We have a pretty historical thing here, because this is the in-ring debut of Goldust.
Yes.
In the WWF.
For the character.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Because Dustin Runnels...
He was with Dusty about a few years prior.
Oh, yeah, yes. For sure. It's definitely not his first match. I just mean it's Goldust's first match.
Yeah, because they never mentioned him as Dustin until, like, a couple years after the fact.
When everybody knew.
Yeah, when everybody knew and he was doing the shoot work thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he is facing Marty, you heard, should I do my stepdaughter, Jannetty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fueled entirely by cocaine.
Yes. I just want to say something. How sad is it that Marty never really dropped, like, the whole Rockers motif?
Yeah, and have another version of that tag team with Leif Cassidy.
Or Al Snow, as I think he's known as.
Yeah, he basically always had the same theme song. He kept, like, the same gear, just changed the colors. Like, it seems like Shawn Michaels completely did a 180 after he left the Rockers.
I think Shawn was pushing him down, like, not wanting him to be anything else besides that. It's like, you want a job? You're going to be this.
Either that, I don't feel maybe he was just comfortable with coasting.
Oh, he coasted all right.
I think Marty also, can blame himself for a lot of his own,
Oh, no, I will say, actually, at one time I remember watching him in the WWF when he was not wearing rocker gear. It was that white thing that he had on. It was like cut in ribbons in between,
like Brutus Beefcake. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
This match sucks.
Yeah,
it's not very good.
No, for a showcase for Goldust, I think Marty got way too much offense in.
That too, and it's just like chin lock. Oh, a spot. Oh, back to the chin lock. It's just very, 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 very slow.
It's very toned down for Goldust as a wrestler versus Dustin as the natural, who is more explosive.
I felt that the high points back in the day. Yeah, the high points of this match were really the commentary.
Oh yeah, God!
Because there were a million
classy Lawler.
Yeah, a million movie puns.
And my favorite is when Marty Jannetty loses and they say Marty Jannetty just got downloaded.
What?
I know.
I missed that.
Yeah, that made so it took him like 2 years to be fully done.
That made no sense.
I did enjoy that it was based on Pulp Fiction because Goldust was speaking to a pulp, and
I thought they meant that Goldust was going to rape him like the Gimp.
Well,
they saved those jokes for about a year later.
Give it a few more weeks, Jerry Lawler would probably say something along
He does.
those lines.
Jerry Lawler infamously drops that other F-bomb we were talking about.
It's weird because they were trying to toe a line with Goldust, and they were trying to make explanations like mind games and everything like that. And then Lawler was just like, just call him a cigarette.
Yep. He sure did.
I did notice, though, that he was wearing some interesting boots. They had lifts to make him look taller, but they didn't lace up, so I was worried he was going to break an ankle.
Is this Goldust we're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Because they were like cowboy boots.
He also, I was always under the impression that he had Marlena with him right off the bat.
No, that was like after WrestleMania 12 or something like that.
So he didn't even have her at Survivor Series the next month?
I don't believe so, no.
Where he had an equally boring match with Bam Bam Bigelow? But anyway, Goldust's finish is a front suplex.
Right.
Shattered Dreams wasn't even in the picture at that time.
Although they do say that he shattered Marty Jannetty's dreams.
And that's probably where they started that. Just like, yeah, that's a good name. Let's use it for a move.
But now we have to get to the best match on the show.
Oh, God.
So here's the backstory, first of all, before we get into this next match. Mabel was supposed to face The Undertaker.
Yes.
Yeah.
However, on Raw, legitimately dropped a leg on him and did it wrong and fucked up his face.
Bone.
Broke his face, yes.
Broke his face. Squashed his face.
As Jerry Lawler so infamously put it, Canadian fans would be familiar with it because it's a face-off.
Hey.
So, tip your waitresses, try the veal.
Exactly. So what they had to do is they had to scramble and come up with another opponent for Mabel. So who do they give them? Another babyface on their way up? Perhaps someone like a Savio Vega or someone like that? No. They gave him another heel in Yokozuna.
It made no sense.
No sense.
No, earlier we saw a face versus face team, which we all know can go over quite well because you get the whole crowd behind it at that point.
Exactly.
But with this one here, the crowd goes mild.
I gotta say, I thought the crowd was more into this than I expected.
Yeah, surprisingly so. Because, like, oh my God, these big, huge guys. What could they do?
I felt that the only part that the crowd was really into was when Yokozuna fell onto Jim's cornet.
That was funny.
It was quite hilarious.
JR, so we didn't even mention the commentators, but we mentioned Lawler, but we also have Vince McMahon and Jim Ross. Mm-hmm. And in this match, Jim Ross gets a line in that says, well, this is just about as scientifically imperfect as you can get.
He always, like, for these kind of matches, will never steer you wrong to say, like, this is not going to be a Luthez classic. It's going to be bowling shoe ugly.
Yes.
3 minutes into the match, I wrote that the commentators are already saying both men are fatigued.
Well, they legitimately probably were.
How about that bulldog spot?
Oh, God.
Oh, no, and Ryan does make a good point. There were a lot of fat jokes.
Yeah. The Brontosaurus died out.
There were some restaurant here in Winnipeg made some business last night. And at one point, I must take umbrage with this line.
Okay.
They say, is it true that he uses a VCR as a beeper?
What?
That makes no sense.
I don't even get that.
No,
just because it's big?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if they were talking about Yokozuna, if they were talking about Jim Cornette.
Listen, I've tried to call people on my VCR. It doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
It's always flashing 12.
Yeah, exactly.
However, let's fast forward.
Great finish.
To the ending, yes.
Yep, it's a double count out.
Right, and then they get back in the ring, and they look like they're going to start fighting again.
Uh-huh.
Right, and there's arguments back and forth, but they don't start fighting again. What do?
Hug!
They hug it out, yes. I felt quite disappointed that this was a missed opportunity. They did not need to do that back and forth with Jim Cornette and Oscar.
And
Mo.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mo.
Yeah.
He was one of the men on a mission.
Oscar did not go along with the heel turn.
Right. So, when that happened, I just feel that they should have gone like that face-to-face part and then done the hug right away. And just had it on everyone in the crowd. Like, they're suckers for thinking this was going to go anyways.
And then they don't have their match, and we're all saved.
I was going to say, would it upset you to know that Yoko had a tag match with Owen later that night for a dark match? We were denied that, but we got this.
Oh my God.
Wait, what? Okay, hold on. What were the dark matches, Ryan?
There was, like, Bob Holly against Rad Radford.
That would have been fine.
Bret Hart and Isaac Yankem Haynes.
Yankem?
That was
Yeah.
Bret Hart wasn't on the show, but he had a dark match. Ugh. And then what was the other one?
It was Yoko and Owen against I think Bam Bam and Tanaka.
Tatanka?
Tatanka, right. It should have been Masato Tanaka. That'd be great.
That would have been crazy.
What's this? Why are Owen and Yoko fighting Masato Tanaka and longtime rival Mike Awesome?
Oh, and then we get to find out who was the sponsor for Survivor Series that year.
What screams 1995 besides?
Oh, I thought it was Shawn Michaels' pin pal jacket.
No, it was Karate Fighters!
Oh, man, that tournament. Remember that?
Yes. Yeah. No, I'm not sure.
Oh, man. So, yeah, it's a double count out. That match is done. Now we get to the good stuff. Because Shawn Michaels comes out with his pin pal's jacket.
He is dressed as the 90s.
Yep, he is just very sad. Because when 1,372 Marines assault you at a bar for no reason...
Lose your smile. None. Before you lose your smile.
Yeah, before you lose your... He hadn't even lost his smile yet.
Yes,
but his smile was on vacation.
I mean, how were you able to maintain your smile when 1,475 Marines attack you?
I think the answer is you don't.
No, you don't. You just get a pair of Irish sunglasses and you forfeit a title.
That's right. And Shawn, I mean, as stupid as this was for Shawn to drop a title, it was pretty stupid. He does some decent acting here, I will say. He doesn't even do any. He doesn't talk at all, but he does a thing where he hands over the title.
Well, that's probably why it was good then, because I was expecting if he was talking, he'd been super over the top.
Oh, it would have been terrible. But his facial reactions are pretty good. Like he looks over at Dean Douglas, kind of mournfully walks away. Dean rubs it in his face. Even Dean Douglas is doing some decent stuff.
Because he snatches the title before they can even hand it to Gorilla Monsoon.
Right, and he's posing with it. He's laughing, and it's pretty good. It's a good thing, and
better than that Zombies movie he was in.
Ugh. His acting in this was better. I agree.
Yeah.
But now here comes Razor Ramon, and we get the
before we get the match. As Shawn Michaels is exiting the arena, did you notice that Sloth from the Goonies was in the crowd?
I did not.
Oh my goodness. There was one poor unfortunate looking chap who looked like.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the one that was looking like Brendan.
My goodness.
What?
He said a fellow that looked like you.
I thought you traveled in time back in 1995 to see this show.
Yeah, Cody Knotts was in the crowd.
He's your cousin, isn't he?
He's a good guy.
Okay.
Not a great director.
No, but okay. So now we get as Jerry Lawler put it, the pain in the class, Razor Ramon.
Yeah.
Lawler was so good this evening.
Because Dean Douglas is a teacher.
Right. Although I did notice he had an exclamation point on the back of his trunks. Had Razor Ramon just hidden under a cardboard box, he could have gotten away with it. Dean Douglas would have been like, oh, it's just a cardboard box. There's a Solid Snake Metal Gear reference for you there.
Oh, God.
Thank you.
It must be hard to play video games for you, Montrose.
Well, you know what? It can be. However, if I can play them on PC, because I don't require to hold a controller. I can use a mouse and the keyboard.
There you go.
Nice.
I wrote down all of the moves Dean Douglas does in this match.
Oh, all of the moves?
All of the moves that he does in this match.
You're using a plural for some reason.
Yes, because this is all the offense he gets in this 11-minute match, okay?
Yeah.
He hits a few elbows in the corner to break out of a hold. He uses a couple of punches and kicks.
Right.
He backdrops to avoid a razor's edge.
Yes.
He hits a drop kick, and he whips him into a corner once. The rest of the match is Razor Ramon just destroying him. Which, I know none of us are big Shane Douglas fans, but holy one-sided match.
But I feel...
For a babyface?
Yeah, it's one of these things that it's where you feel kind of, sort of, possibly a little bad.
Yeah, because
Shane Douglas.
I do.
I don't think Razor sold anything from the previous match. It's like he didn't even have a match earlier.
He didn't sell anything in this match. Honestly.
And that's it. The whole thing is, you often hear, if you get Shane Douglas to talk to you, don't ever get Shane Douglas to talk to you, but if you do, he'll let you know that he was screwed by a veritable number of people, and a group of them are the Clique, which would include Shawn Michaels, the Diesel, the One
Razor,
Kid, Triple H, all of them. And so you feel when you see this that it may be something to his complaint.
Yeah.
There are some there's some meat to that grievance. However, everything else that happened to him afterwards is entirely his fault.
Well, and according to Douglas and many other people that were around at the time, he was supposed to beat Shawn Michaels at this show for the Intercontinental title. But luckily, Shawn Michaels was attacked by 1,578 Marines,
Right.
Causing that to go a different way.
Right, and it wasn't because he mouthed off to one guy
No.
about his wife.
No, that was an urban legend.
Right.
Razor Ramon wins the title by hitting him with a belly-to-back suplex.
It's not even a razor's edge.
No. And they did an angle where Dean Douglas's foot was underneath the bottom rope.
Mm-hmm.
But that was never followed up on later. That he argues with the ref and the commentators mention it, and then they just kind of go, well, the referee's decision is final.
Yeah, because, you know what happened is that they told Dean the finish and made him probably think that it was going to lead into some sort of rematch or a program or
make
something.
Yourself look good.
And they're just like, so he'll go along with it and lay down, and then once it happens, we're not doing that.
Probably. It made him look like a moron.
Right.
But don't worry, guys, because Dean Douglas would later go on to manage Nature Boy Buddy Landell in one of the best programs of all time with Ahmed
Johnson.
Yep.
Oh, God. What a crazy time to think that 4 times winning that title was a big accomplishment.
Right?
Yeah.
Razor Ramon wins the Intercontinental title for the 4th time.
Right.
So before we get to the main event and Bret Hart, Dr. Hendricks is advertising the worst wrestling shirt I've ever seen.
I don't know those.
They had to say some doozies.
Those types of shirts were rather popular at the time.
Perhaps, but it looks disgusting. It's like the busiest.
Even more than Vince Loves Cock.
It's the busiest shirt I've ever seen. Like there's so much going on it.
It was the style at the time.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Loud and proud with all these colors of the 90s.
Right.
You'll never get them back.
It's for 2 dudes with attitudes, a.k.a. Shawn Michaels and Diesel. He's got to get that plug in.
Not Lex and Sting?
What?
Not Lex and Sting? Because they were also the dudes with attitudes?
Were they actually?
I think so, yeah.
Copyright.
That's sweet dudes with attitudes money.
They added the number 2 to it, so that way they managed to...
And then turn that, flip it around.
Right.
That's like when they changed the Big Boss Man to the Boss.
There you go.
WCW. No, first he was just the Boss.
Right.
Yeah.
But they had to change it to the Guardian Angel because it was too similar.
The Boss was too close to the Boss Man.
And then they changed it to Ray Trailer.
And
Big Bubba again.
Big Bubba. And, lots of... oh, wait, no, the Shark was the Earthquake. Never mind.
Yeah.
WCW sucks.
Oh, and this thing that we're reviewing is a spot-on stellar event.
A masterpiece. A masterpiece of wrestling history. But anyway, so here comes Bret Hart coming down to do some color commentary.
Oh, and run off Jerry Lawler.
Yeah, so making Bret Hart the best babyface on the whole show.
Yes. He does get a rather odd side hug from Vince.
Yeah,
so awkward.
I wrote down, Vince McMahon and Bret Hart, friends forever.
I said the same thing, too. Nothing could go wrong with our friendship. Not at all.
And for some reason, Jim Ross makes a note that natives were bussed in for this.
What?
Yes, he says that there were like, I don't know, maybe they were like, it was like the Marines, because he said there were like 1,000 natives who were bussed in on a chartered bus for this event.
Just to see Bret Hart only.
It is the prairies, but I mean, what? I don't feel that's a thing.
That is very strange.
Well, if he had just said, 1,000 fans bust in, I get that, because it's the prairies, and you do come from far and wide. It's very flat.
Wait, no, I know, I get it now, because earlier Ryan told us that Tatanka was in one of the dark matches.
Oh, no, that actually does make some sense.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Not gonna lie about that.
They're like, wait, this wasn't part of the pay-per-view? But it's Tatanka. It's main eventer Tatanka.
He should be the champion.
Yeah.
Those 2,000 natives were bussed in for just this on charter buses.
Here's Dean Douglas.
I don't feel that those 2,600 natives who were bussed in on the chartered buses felt that they were there to see Dean Douglas.
I don't feel anyone in the crowd was there to see Dean Douglas.
No. Maybe the 1,622 Marines.
Just like we're Shawn, because we're real.
Wait, are you referring to the 1,713 Marines?
Yes, half of the people in the building were the Marines, and the other half were the natives that were brought in on the charter.
Where does Dracula fall in place?
Oh, I think he was a Marine. Because Marines
he
never die.
He did look Shawn very sternly, so maybe I can see that.
Excuse me, I'd like to purchase a ticket for tonight's In Your House. I'm sorry, we're all sold out. We have too many Marines and buses full of natives.
Together at last.
Oh shit, we still have to get through this main event. So.
Yes, and they were, I think they may have been trying to fool, excuse me, I think they were trying to fool Davey Boy Smith because they had a diesel decoy in the audience.
Yes.
Which
just as buff.
You know what? To me, I thought it was odd until you chaps mentioned that this happened around Halloween. So that makes a lot more sense why there would be a Diesel lookalike and a Dracula in the audience.
But don't forget, we get Diesel's greatest line ever right before the match. A champion has a lot on his mind before they have a title match. Doc Hendricks goes up to him and is like, "So
what's
Diesel,
your
how
mindset?" He asks him, I believe.
Yeah. So Diesel, how you feeling? Well, tonight it's time to be funky. His gimmick is a truck driver.
Wait.
Yes.
What?
He says to Dr. Hendricks when Dr. Hendricks comes up to talk to him and says, "What is your mindset?" Just 1 second. I actually have a really good Dr. Hendricks impression. If you
I can't wait to hear.
Okay, please do.
Diesel, dude. What's your mindset tonight? Thank you. And so Diesel says to Dr. Hendricks, "Well, Doctor, I'm about to get funky."
How did I miss that?
And I felt that it was a rather missed opportunity because he could have said several things. He could have said, I'm going to roll through him. I'm going to roll on. I'm going to put the pedal to the metal. I'm going to hit him like a Mack truck. 1,000 trucker puns he could have made, and he went with, "I'm about to get funky."
Kevin Nash's face, because he knew it's just like, I'm going to lose this title soon. I'm not going to try anymore. So funky. Let's get funky.
He could have said, "I'm not dropping the title because I'm in the clique." He could have said, "Funky like a monkey."
Could have. But I feel that Dusty may have been owed a quarter had he done that.
That's the real true. Kevin Nash. What were you thinking?
Well, the British Bulldog gets his WWF title shot against Big Daddy Cool Diesel, and Bret Hart is on commentary. This match put me to sleep.
You know what? I could see where you're coming from because this is Diesel and Bulldog. They're not really noted as, like, the biggest workhorses in a match. They're kind of guys that they have to be carried with other people. They need a Bret Hart to really bring out the best.
I don't know. I feel that Davey Boy Smith should have at least been able to carry Diesel to a halfway decent match.
But I don't think he did.
No, he did not.
No, exactly. Like, I don't mind the story they were telling. It's actually nice, because it could have been, like, big plotting big man moves, but we got whatever we got from Yoko and Mabel with all those spots.
Bulldog working Diesel's leg makes sense.
And Bret Hart calling it as such makes it almost legitimate. I like whenever they approach that level.
The thing is, if you're going to work a body part, don't do the same hold for 20 goddamn minutes.
No, you should spice it up. You should do different things with it. Even go as far as using a chair if need be to make it a little bit different.
But wasn't Bret Hart a bit of a bastard towards his brother-in-law in this?
Because of the sharpshooter he put on?
Well, he better learn to put his own right.
It's not like if he was calling it The Rock, then yes, he's completely 100%. That was a shit move that The Rock did of putting on the sharpshooter.
However, that was the worst sharpshooter
until The Rock
ever seen. I think that's worse than The Rock's.
No, The Rock always put it so loose.
And I have to agree with Gilbert. I feel The Rock's was much worse.
I don't know. I feel like Diesel's legs weren't even elevated.
It's hard because he's a taller guy.
And you know what? Davey Boy kept trying to put him into a clover leaf.
Yeah.
It was clearly a clover leaf.
Yeah.
But they couldn't figure out what the damn move was.
Well, this match is just like blah, 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 blah. It's not very good.
Jim Cornette does get some fun offense in.
Yeah, nothing with the tennis racket either. He didn't use the tennis racket once.
No, just elbow drops.
Yeah, elbow and kicks. It was crazy to see that.
Jim Cornette did the most believable offense in the whole match.
That's actually, yeah, I agree.
I will say there's also a spot where Bulldog has him in a Boston Crab. Diesel is literally right in front of the ropes, but he's like, he won't just grab them.
Because it's just like, we gotta hold this out for a little bit.
I'm like, okay, at least if you're the Bulldog, at least pull him out to the middle or something.
Right. So you want him in the center of the ring.
Yeah, I think clearly neither guy gave a shit. And if the rumors are to be believed, I heard that at this show, apparently right after this match was done, Vince threw down his headset and basically chewed Diesel out, like, right there.
That was one of those matches?
Really?
Wow.
And
in front of the audience.
Yeah, and hilariously, he then lost it the next month. So, but you know, after all this, I'm sure at least this match will get a good finish, right, guys?
No,
a leading to Survivor Series kind of match. Yeah, that kind of finish.
You see, the thing is, with this match, they have several times during the match, they say that if Davey Boy wins, that it's going to be him and Brett.
Yeah.
At Survivor Series. Why not just do that? Transitional champion's fine.
Exactly.
Diesel and Brett, I would have much rather seen the repeat of Brett and Davey from
they
Wimbledon.
Did that the month after.
Wimbledon.
That in your house.
That being said, though, that Diesel Brett match is actually really good.
Oh yeah, it's introduced tables to WWF.
Yes.
Yeah. But yes, no, I know that you could have even had Bulldog hang. Like, I know it's the Bulldog and it's not like a big draw, but you could have even had the Bulldog be the one to lose it to Shawn Michaels at that WrestleMania. Honestly,
really,
why not? That would have been a great match.
I just feel
for
that
an hour long though.
No, not for an Iron Man. Like for just a regular match.
I don't think they would have booked that. No one wants to see that. But I feel that, you know, it's just a nod to Davey Boy because he never had the heavyweight championship.
Yeah.
No, he was always like solid mid-carder.
Yeah, I feel like he could have had like at least like you said for that month,
right?
Until Survivor Series.
Yes.
Why not?
You know what? He's not the best talker.
And
that's why you have Cornette with him.
It's such trash because you know it doesn't make sense for Bret Hart to do what he does. He's supposed to be the face.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and they try to I think make it look justified,
but it still just makes him look like a bastard.
Yeah,
Again.
it's like you ruined your brother-in-law's opportunity here.
Because Diesel pie faces him earlier, and he kind of doesn't do anything, but then Bulldog, like, straight up knocks him over.
Oh, just clouts him one in the face.
And then Brett just, like, fuck this, and beats the shit out of the Bulldog. And then we get a big pull-apart brawl between him and Diesel, which was actually probably the most interesting thing on this show.
Yep, and then that's the end of the event.
And then, of course, this is too exciting. End this.
Tune in tomorrow on Raw.
Yeah, tomorrow on Monday Night Raw when stuff happens that we taped 6 months ago.
Right.
Boy, oh boy, that was In Your House 4.
Yeah.
Thanks, Montrose, for you know, I guess tricking Nathan. I don't know if I should thank
usually
you,
we just get XPW verbiage from Nathan.
Absolutely. I'm super happy to be here. I was glad to trick him. I felt it was more my spot. Considering I normally do this sort of thing on my YouTube channel.
And you
where
do more concurrent wrestling, more
right,
rather than
I do.
looking back
I mean, I did have some older retro reviews. I just don't feel they were getting off maybe I can revisit those. I think I've got a couple of lost episodes I could put together. Maybe put those up on my YouTube channel.
Well, Montrose, would you like to plug?
Oh no, this is a mini episode. I don't read from mini episodes.
Oh,
he's big time.
So just give me 1 minute. I'll go get Nathan, and he will read the copy.
Oh, okay.
Okay, just give me. Okay, you can come back in now. What happened?
Nathan,
we don't know what to tell you, man.
You guys,
we're
you
kind
could
of
have
done
just
here.
came and opened the door. I mean, yeah, he locked the door on me, but just because you sat down doesn't mean you start recording.
Do you have any thoughts overall of this event that you want to do really quickly? Because we just spent all this time.
I mean, really.
Fair enough.
The high point was that, you know, vampire guy in the crowd.
I agree.
Yeah,
okay, that's fair enough. That's
anyway,
definitely what you would say.
I got some copy here. I'm just going to read it.
Okay.
Check out Montrose Monkington TV on YouTube. You can follow me. It says me in the copy. I think he was supposed to read this.
I know.
follow Montrose on Facebook. You can be one of his friends. Montrose Monkington III, Esquire, and Friends. And then finally, follow him on Twitter at Montrose III. That's the number 3RD. Thank you. More later.
Now, Nathan, before Montrose tries to take your spot again, I do need you to announce our next movie. So why don't you go ahead and press the trailer button?
Hit the button, Frank!
Since the nuclear holocaust, 20 years have passed. The leader of the Urak monarchy, the powerful Euro-Afro-Asian unity who pressed the fatal button, claims to have won the conflict. But planet Earth has been reduced to a garbage-strewn radioactive desert, inhabited by humans devoid of all hope for a future.
That thing back there was a cyborg, half man, half robot.
I don't have time to jaw with anyone who won't identify himself.
So yes, there you go. Remember the clue was the time is up and the time is now. We are watching 2019 After the Fall of New York.
What is this?
Italian knockoff cinema at its best.
Oh boy.
If you've ever wanted to see a movie that is a beautiful mesh rip-off of Escape from New York and Mad Max, this is the movie for you.
Oh God.
Are there badly dubbed accents in it?
Boy howdy, and it's free on the YouTube as we record this.
I'm sold.
So there you go, folks. 2019 After the Fall of New York. Is Montrose, did he leave? Is he...
No, he's still here, and I think he wants to wrap up the show, so I'm going to take...
monkey on your shoulder all this time.
I'm going to go get a coffee. You guys...
Nathan, thank you for being a guest this week.
I'm glad I could be a guest on my own show.
We will, of course, have you back next week.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, so
right.
Thank you very much. Thank you. More later.
Yeah, thank you. More later. That really is catching on. Oh, yes, hello. I'm back here.
Yeah.
He fell for my delightful ruse.
Nathan read your copy beautifully.
With so much emotion and poise.
Well, you know what? I do like having a trained chimp around, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, you are a funny one.
Yes, it's okay for me to say that.
Yeah, you can say it. We can't.
Right. You're right.
Ryan, again, where can they follow you on the Twitter box?
I am Slacker Writer. That's it. That's it.
That's his.
I don't have a very long username.
At Slacker Writer.
It's just like, I am Slacker Writer, and I was waiting for more.
That's it.
Pause.
Okay.
Just a second.
Is this the first baby in the recording studio?
Yes, this is the first baby in the recording studio.
What?
Cheyenne's one of Cheyenne's friends had a baby recently.
Okay.
Older, much older than Cheyenne.
Let's just preface this right now.
No, wait, I don't want you to think like Cheyenne's going to school with like a 13-year-old mom or something. Although that's totally plausible.
That
in
used
the city.
that used to be St. John.
Yeah,
I was going to say, you are in St. John's.
Yeah. And you're in
Used to be-
Fredericton. So
hey,
where
we
you-
were noted as number 1 for teenage pregnancy.
We were.
Oh, who took over?
I don't know.
Probably Fredericton.
Probably.
Or Miramichi.
Just tell her to remember every bit of that.
So you should put this for your Patreon exclusive on.
A baby in the
Talking
studio.
babies.
What were they doing?
Bye, sweetheart.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is going downhill now. We can't compete after a baby.
We can't. Where did we leave off? Oh, Slacker Writer. Right.
Yep, that's you. And you can follow that baby that just came into the studio at Goo Goo Gaga.
Baby 420.
Baby 420. Franchise Baby 420 on Twitter. I might have to just leave this all in now.
good. No one's gonna stop you.
I'll cut out all the spots where we didn't talk for like 10 minutes, but
Yeah.
Thank you, Baby 420.
franchise baby 420.
Franchise Baby 420, 69.
Franchise baby 420.
Somebody now needs to go make that Twitter account.
I'm pretty certain they're done.
Damn it!
Anything with 42069, someone's already done for either a joke or not.
Shane Douglas's kid has that account. Oh, fuck. So that's where you can find Ryan on Twitter. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at WWTT Podcast. You can also find us on Facebook. Just search What Were They Thinking? And we have a Facebook group, What Were They Thinking Interactive. You can find us on all the podcatchers at Podbean at www.ttpodcast.podbean.com. Also iTunes / Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher. And any other podcatchers you can think of, we're likely on there. And you can also find us on Patreon at patreon.com/WWTT podcast. Lots of cool things you can sign up for on there. And actually, now that I'm mentioning it, we do need to welcome our newest patron, Michael Bagford.
Oh, that fella. I've seen him on the Twitter.
Yeah.
I follow him, I'm not sure.
So we need to give him some sort of shout out here. So what do you got, Montrose?
Mike Bagford, thank you for being a Patreon.
Travel down the road and back again.
Your heart is true. You are a pal and a confidant.
And Mike, if you threw a party
And invited everyone you knew,
you probably see,
the biggest gift would be from me.
and the card attached would say,
Thank you for being a Patreon. We're just off the cuff.
Yeah,
we're brilliant.
Just melded right into that Golden Girls thing.
Improv masters, that's us.
that's right. That's us doing
Wittiest people
things.
alive.
things
Stuff.
with stuff. Yeah.
Right.
So, also Redbubble, redbubble.com, and then just search What Were They Thinking? We've got lots of stuff on there. One delightful human centipede design, our logo, and, we'll maybe throw a couple things up there in the next, I don't know, few months. We'll see.
Yeah, there we go. Aren't you chaps part of some sort of, internet radio thing, too?
Yeah, if you head to comingrightedup.org, you can actually check us out on the radio. And I'm just going to check my calendar here.
That's one of your superpowers.
Cue the horror music. If you want to check us out on the radio at comingrightedup.org, we're on every Sunday at 9 a.m. Central. So that's, sorry, nope, that's wrong. Hold on. Yep, no, 9 a.m. Central, or 10 a.m. Eastern, or 11 a.m. Atlantic, whatever time zone you're in.
He's being defeated by time zones and calendars right now.
Well, because, today is daylight savings and all that. Spring ahead.
Oh, God, don't do this to me.
Oh, dear.
But yes, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, every Sunday. You can check out What Were They Thinking on the radio, on that website.
Right after church.
It's right after church, or before, whatever time zone you're in. And I guess I should mention I have another podcast called For Screen and Country, where we talk about British films, the top 100. I know, right?
That sounds delightful.
The top 100 British films of all time, according to the BFI. And that's also on comingrightedup.org. That's also on that website every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Central.
Tuesday, very nice.
Yeah. And you can find it on all the podcatchers and at BFI_pod on Twitter. I think that's all the plugs.
Yeah.
So next week, Montrose will let Nathan return.
Yes.
To the show, and we will talk about 2019 after the fall of New York.
I am not watching that. So.
Well, I mean, you don't want to watch a documentary, Montrose. It's kind of harrowing.
What? It's a documentary.
Oh, well, it's about 2019. That's this year.
New York has fallen?
I assume so.
Oh my god, I must
Gotta alert the media.
You know what? I'm going to go into my bunker with as many freeze-dried bananas as I can find.
Right.
And I will come out once it's safe again.
Well, that's a good idea, Montrose.
Okay.
But before you do that, I want to thank Ryan again.
Yes.
No problem.
For coming in to talk about wrestling.
Yes, he loves
and Shane Douglas again.
And Shane Douglas.
That's
and, of course, babies in the studio.
To leave that in now.
It's staying in.
Special guest star, franchise baby 420.
Franchise baby 420 on Twitter. He doesn't retweet because he is a baby.
He'll like.
Oddly, though, however, better grammar than most folks on Twitter.
Better grammar than Marty Jannetty.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, heard?
Yeah, heard. My stepdaughter's pretty hot. Oh, so weird.
I don't want to know the context of this. I think that's just
You
left
don't
unexplored.
follow him on the Facebooks?
I do, but I don't remember him talking about that. But I'm glad I didn't read that.
Well, the good thing for you is I will tell you off air. So
okay, all the dirty deeds. I get you.
They're done dirt cheap as well.
God. But usually, I mean, Nathan had questions last time, so usually I would ask questions. But I think since Montrose was a special guest here, I'm gonna let Montrose ask if he has any questions.
But I guess I simply must know, with the wrestling event, am I doing this right?
Yeah, you got this.
The wrestler.
Okay, with the wrestling event.
Oh, sports entertainment.
Okay, with the sports entertainment. Were they sports entertainment at the time? Or they still
Yes,
wrestling?
they always have been sports entertainment.
We were the sports entertainment event at the time where they had Bret Hart actually in a match, but not featured on the show that people were paying to see worldwide, right? In a show where apparently there were two other dark matches that would have been far more serviceable than two other matches that were on this debacle of a card. And in an episode, what am I saying? In an event where Dracula and fake Diesel, but not Kane, showed up, and Sloth was there, and still they didn't have, I feel, legitimate title changes at all. I simply must ask, what were they booking? Thank you, more later.
So I was out with this girl the other night, and she said that she hated Star Wars. Can you believe that?
I could top that. My latest date told me he didn't like black and white movies.
What?
Do you have a movie deal breaker? Is there a film you love so much that if your significant other didn't like it, it would be Splitsville?
Well, we're dating hosts Greg and Lauren, and in our podcast, Movie Date Night, we introduce each other to our favorite movies and see if our relationship can survive. And if our partners appreciate the movies as much as we do.
Find us wherever podcasts are available and follow us at Movie Date Night on Facebook or Twitter to talk movies with us.
Hey everyone, it's Chris and Mike from The Recasting Couch, the podcast where we take our favorite movies and discuss what they would be like with new actors in all the lead roles. Hey Mike, tell them where they can find us on social media.
You can find our website at therecastingcouch.com or on Twitter at recastingpod. And of course, you can listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Android, or anywhere else you find your favorite podcasts.
Yeah, if there's a service that's not posting our pod, you let us know and we will rectify that immediately.
Damn right.
Thanks for listening, everybody.